Hey guys, since 4th of July is coming up, I wanted to start my series of do-it-yourself science here with a little thing I'm going to call do-it-yourself fireworks. Now, don't try this at home. This is something, especially kids, don't try this without adult supervision or at all. But basically the idea is you get something flammable mixed up with enough air that'll light on fire really quickly and makes a nice flash of flame here. So what I have here is a little, one person soda bottle here that I took the liberty of adding a little bit of water in here. Now what this is if you notice when you buy a soda bottle, always the top part is all empty. Now that's just so you don't accidentally spill it when you're starting to pour it out there. But what I did is I filled it with water right up to the line where it's usually filled up with air. So this bottle on the wrapper says it contains 355 milliliters of soda, and I've measured this out and it's right about 30 milliliters of empty space. So there's 385 milliliters of space altogether here. Now, the butane is the lighter fluid here that we're going to be putting into here, has 4 carbon atoms in the middle and has 10 hydrogen atoms around the outside. The idea when you're burning it is to mix it with air. So conveniently, carbon makes carbon dioxide and hydrogen makes water. So CO2 and H2O, if you count up the number of oxygen atoms it takes to completely consume a butane molecule, you end up with 6.5 oxygen molecules, which the air is actually only 1/5 part oxygen. You need is to have 5 times that, which is 32.5 units of air for every unit of butane. So the 32.5 units of air and the unit of butane means 35.5 units altogether. Fortunately for gases, all gases have the same number of molecules for the same amount of space. So we need 1 milliliter of butane in this thing for every 33.5 milliliters of space there is, which if you run the math, it ends up being right about 11 milliliters, which I've measured out right here in this little syringe here. So, like I was saying, what we're going to do at this point, there's our 30 milliliters are gone now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my carefully measured 11 milliliters of water and I'll put them in here. And so we can kind of see how much that fills up our bottle. Now, yeah, right there. So what we're going to do here is with this marker, it's going to mark how full this bottle is around here. So that way, when we dump this thing out, we'll know exactly where the 11 milliliter mark shows. So I'm going to dump this out now. And we see right here all of these little marks. Now, here's the tricky part. What I'm going to do now is fill this right up to the brim with water. That way, the only way that I know that I'm getting every last little bit of air out of this bottle. So it's absolutely empty of air, but full of water, of course. But see if we can get that last little kind of bubble of water floating with the surface tension on the top of it here. What we need to do now is very carefully cover the end of this so no air can get in, and we'll put the end of it under the water. So if you look up here, there's little tiny bit of, didn't do a real good job, there's a little tiny bit of air in there, but practically none, relatively speaking. So if I get my handy dandy broken lighter that I found out in the road, I don't smoke, don't usually need a lighter or anything, but people seem to leave the broken ones all over the place. Now, if we get nice and close here with the camera, we can see the top of the bottle and the bubbles in it. So we get this nice and close here, and so what happens is when I'll push this here, you see those nice butane bubbles starting to fill up the top of this bottle here. I guess the bottom of the bottle, right? And as soon as I get right about to those black marks, I'll let go of my lighter button and put that down there. And I'll see if I can force this top right in here to the bottom. Screw the bottle into the top. And there we have it. So we have right about our 11 milliliters of butane gas, pure butane gas, well almost, except for the little bubble of air, but nicely contained here in the top of this bottle. Now the next part, we're going to go outside, because this is the part that, just like you don't light off normal fireworks inside, we're going to go outside and light off this thing. So here we go. Okay, so here we are outside, and so here's what we're going to do. I have here the a Q-tip with a little bit of oil on the end. I'm holding on to with some pliers, because that way I can keep my hand out of the path of the flame when it comes out. But I have a little bit of oil on the end, and I have a candle here off camera that I can use to light it on fire real quick. And so that I'm going to stick inside the bottle, and the bottle I'm going to open and let the water splash out all over here. That will also help so that we don't light anything on fire. We have a nice cushion of water to protect us from that. And then I'm going to light the Q-tip on fire and stick it in. Hopefully the air bubbling into the bottle will mix it all up real nice, and we'll get a nice 4th of July fireworks celebration with our chemistry experiment here. So here we go. I'm opening it now. Let's see if I remember lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, lighted the Q-tip on fire again here, and here it goes. It kind of exploded. So that's a little example of just a small bottle. What you got? Oh my goodness! It's fun to do it with bigger bottles too. All right, so now we got out the big one. This is a 3.1 liter bottle, which conveniently the math ends up that's right about 100 milliliters of butane here in the top. And I made myself a little stand here to see if I can get this thing to fly. I've tried this with a 2-liter bottle before, and it was nice enough to kick itself into the air a little bit, just like half a foot or something. So I'm going to see if this bigger one will actually turn itself to a rocket. So here we go. Opening this up now. So here goes the water. It's coming out of here all over the place. A whole bunch more water this time. Let's start lighting the Q-tip on fire while all that air mixes into the butane here. And yeah, it's taking quite a while to get all this out of here. Hadn't thought about that detail.
I hope it works.
Yeah, I hope it works too.
If it not works, oh, maybe let's do it again.
Maybe. The main problem here is this Q-tip is going to burn out before I... Here we go. So we got this here. Just going to try to mount it right on there. And let's see what we can get this to go in here. Oh man. Get my Q-tip burned up. We'll do this then. Rip off this candle. Right up in the hole. Oh, something light. Something light.
Oh.
Wow!
It was like a rocket.
It did shoot off like a rocket. Okay.
Oh my goodness, it worked. But it fell off.
Okay. That was great. I hope we got the whole launch trajectory on the camera somewhere.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
It scared me.
Okay. All right. Happy 4th of July.
Vegas. I hope it works. I can point that yet the next time. I point that yet.
Happy 4th of July.
Oh no!
The bottle's warm.